Hi everyone and welcome to Into the Breach, the newest tactical game from the makers of FTL Faster Than Light. And let me tell you, this game is so damn good. If you like tactical games, this is pretty much a must-buy. I would almost call it a masterpiece. In any case, I'm going to show you how everything works. The game mechanics are not very complicated, it's definitely one of these games that's easy to learn but hard to master. And let's jump right into it, shall we? Now, there are a few things going on here, and I already played quite a bit, which is why I got all the squads unlocked. In any case, let's talk about everything that's going on here. First of all, we got 3 different difficulty levels: easy with reduced enemy spawn rates, normal, and hard with increased spawn rates and more tough enemy types. Then we choose a squad. There are 8 different squads in the game. You can also play with your own custom-made squad, where you can even use 3 copies of the same exact mech if you like to. Then you can use a random squad with balance roll, which basically gives you 3 mechs of different class types, or chaos roll, which doesn't have any restrictions whatsoever. And then there's also a secret squad, which I haven't unlocked yet. When you first start the game, it looks like this. You only have the Rift Walkers and you have to unlock everything else. So how do you unlock the squads? You unlock the squads by completing achievements. You gain 1 coin for each achievement, and then you can use the coins to unlock squads. Simple, right? Well, kind of. Some of the achievements are easier than others. As you can see, I'm still missing quite a lot. I only got a full set on 2 squads, the Hazardous Mechs and Frozen Titans. Seal Judoka is the last one I unlocked, which is why I have nothing here. So, other than that, we also have the Time Traveler, which is a pilot you can bring to your next game. Because each mech has a pilot, who gives the mech additional special abilities and some bonuses. And when you finish a game, regardless of whether you won or lost, you can choose 1 pilot who you will bring to your next game. So in this case, we have Bethany Jones. She makes the mech start every mission with a shield, and also provides the mech with +1 mech reactor and +1 mech move. I can change the Time Traveler, so I can pick any of the pilots I unlocked, but they won't start with any experience. In this case, I do have a fully experienced pilot I brought from my last game, but I could change this. Sometimes you want one of the specific special abilities from one of the pilots, because that might work better with the squad you choose. And I think that covers just about everything. The mechs are very varied. There are all kinds of weapons and abilities the mechs have. All of these squads have widely different playstyles, and it gets even more fun when you choose a custom squad or a random squad. And you know what, since I have everything unlocked, let's maybe go for a random squad. I'm still missing 2 achievements here. Open 5 time pods in a single game, you'll see what exactly that means. And beat the game without spending any reputation. We definitely won't be doing this one, but we can probably do the loot boxes. Anyway, we can reroll as many times as we like, until we get something we find interesting enough. So let's have a look. I roll a few times until I see something I like. Yeah, this is not too bad. So first we got a lightning mech with electric whip, which chains damage through adjacent targets, which also includes friendly units and buildings, but there's a way to counter that. Then we have the laser mech, which has a burst beam. It hits everything in a line and does less damage the further away the target is. And then we have a pulse mech, which doesn't do any damage, but it pushes all adjacent tiles, and later on it can also provide itself and friendly targets with shields. So, let's get started, shall we? We can change colors if we like to, so we can go for the same color on all of them. And let's get started. So, the game is divided into 4 different islands. Each island has its own unique mechanics and plays quite a bit differently. And in order to win the game, you have to complete at least 2 islands, 2 or more, it's up to you how many you want to do. And then you get a 5th island with the final encounter, which will scale to your progress. Oh, and also, since we have a pilot who provides our mech with +1 reactor, we have power to spend. So this is the progression in the game. As you play, you gain power for your mechs. Mostly by gaining reactor cores, but you can also get extra reactor from a pilot, like we did here. And then you can spend that. We can get extra health, we can get extra move, we can also prevent buildings from taking damage from electric whip, which we will definitely do. And then we can also get +1 damage, which will require 3 different reactors. I can show you the other 2 mechs we have right away. You always have health and move on every single mech. That's universal. Other abilities are specific to weapons. So later on we will get a chance to swap our weapons and get different abilities for these weapons. Every mech has a second slot. Sometimes that slot will be filled depending on the squad you're using. Sometimes it's empty and you can use whatever gear you find or buy as you play. So for the laser mech, we can make allies immune and we can get +1 damage. And finally, for the pulse mech, we can make it shield itself when it uses the repulse weapon, and it can also shield friendly targets, including buildings, which can be quite useful as you'll see. So, back to islands. Like I said, each island has its own unique mechanics. We can see that first we got Archive Inc., which is a temperate environment. We also have the threat scanner, so as you play the game and gain more experience, you will know what exactly these enemies do. Then we have the desert planet, terraforming specialists. We got the industrial planet, and we got the frozen planet. We are going to start from the temperate island. So, each island is divided into sectors. And you have to go through these sectors one by one and complete objectives. When you complete objectives, you gain rewards. Right now our reward will be corporate reputation. Once you finish the island, you get a chance to spend your corporate reputation. Other rewards include power, I will show you what exactly power does in just a moment, and sometimes reactor cores. There's no sector with reactor core as a reward here, but sometimes that is also an option. So let's do storage vaults. Our objective here is defend the train. So here's the battlefield. It's an 8x8 grid, which we will be fighting on. And when we start, we need to place our mechs. Doesn't really matter too much right now. So you will go here, the laser mech will go here, and the pulse mech, let's say somewhere in the middle. Alright, then we confirm placement, and we get started. So in the top left corner you got the power grid. Power grid is basically your health. When this goes down to 0, you lose. That's it, game over, you start from the beginning. And the power grid is represented by the buildings, by the civilian buildings. When the enemies damage the buildings, you lose power grid. So these buildings are basically your health. Sort of. And you have to protect them. That's always one of your goals. Protect the civilian buildings. Other than that, we have the VEC, which are going to be your enemies. They all do slightly different things. We can hover over their name to see what exactly they do. So for example, this is a Blast Scion, who has 2 movement points, he's flying, and he has a passive effect. All other VEC will explode on death, dealing 1 damage to adjacent tiles. So that's something to watch out for, because if we stand next to one of these guys and then kill him, he will explode and damage us. If we kill him while he's adjacent to the building, he will damage the building. And then we also have our main objective for this mission, which is defend the train. So I would say it's a good idea to kill the Scion first. Then we have the Firefly. We can see the explosive decay here, that's from the Scion. And we have another Firefly. When you hover or click on the enemy unit, you can see exactly what its action going to be. And now we get to make our moves. And then we also have the emerging VEC. These spots right here is where new VEC will emerge. If we block these tiles, we will prevent them from emerging. We can block them ourselves, we can block them with enemy units, because, for example, our pulse mech can push units. So sometimes you can push enemy unit into the emerging mech and block it that way. And you can also block it with objects. Some mechs can launch a boulder, for example, and you can block emerging mech with that boulder. So last but not least, you can reset a turn. So if you make a mistake, you can reset the turn once per mission. And there's also undo move. So if you move but decide you didn't really want to do it, you can undo. You can't undo after you take an action. The only way to undo then is to use your one reset per turn. Anyway, let's actually start playing, shall we? So first of all, we got the electric whip, and thanks to our pilot, we start with a shield. Because when you block the emerging mech, whatever is on top of that tile will take 1 point of damage, regardless of whether it's us or other mech. So sometimes you can actually just kill the mech by making it block that tile. It will both prevent new mech from emerging, and it will kill itself if it's down to 1 health. Anyway, first of all, we are going to use the electric whip, which will do 2 damage each, like so. And then we have a few options. We could kill them both with our own laser mech, but then we will take damage, which in this case might be acceptable. You can repair yourself, that's one of the options. It obviously makes you skip the turn. But if we do it like this, then we will kill them both. We will take damage, but our mech will still be alive, so I think that's acceptable. As an alternative, we could also kill the Blast Scion. However, in that case, one of the civilian buildings will definitely take damage, because I can block the shot with my third mech. However, I can't block both shots. And you can't use an action when you're standing in water. Because if this was solid land, I could push one mech into the other mech, and it would kill it, because when you push units into one another, they take 1 point of damage. Just something to keep in mind. I think that covers vast majority of the game mechanics already. Alright, so let's just do it like this. We'll lose the shield, and then we'll take 1 more point of damage from emerging mech. And we'll have 1 left, which is fine. And we can block the other tile with our other mech. That seems like a good idea. We still have 1 action, which is this one, but that will achieve literally nothing. So there's no point using it. So now we will prevent both of them from emerging, and we can take care of the Scion. We can also take the time to actually repair. Definitely a good idea. So, we got 4 spots with emerging mech, or even 5 actually. Okay then. So, we should definitely kill the Scion, because that explosive passive is really bad for you. We can move out of the way to not hit our own units with the laser, repair ourselves, and also repair the pulse mech. Like this, and then we'll take the shot. There we go, that takes care of it. One more thing that's worth knowing is that if you push the mech into the water tile, it will die as long as it's not a flying unit or a massive unit. So it's an instant kill if you do that. Again, as long as it's not flying, or a boss type, alpha type. These are massive and they do not drown. So, we got artillery type enemy, and we got an enemy which immobilizes things. So, right now our priority is to protect the train, because that will give us corporate reputation. And if you complete the entire island without losing any objectives, you get an additional reward at the end, which is quite worth it. Now, let's see. We can push one guy into the water, so that's worth doing. We can also break the web by pushing our own mech. So that's what we're going to do. We can do something like this. So this will kill one mech and it will break the web. Now the problem is that if we hit them with the lightning whip, we will also damage the train, which isn't necessarily what we want to do. We might have to accept 1 damage on the train, We'll still get 1 point of corporate reputation, as long as it's not destroyed. There might be a better way of doing it, so let's reset the turn. We can do that once per mission. And instead of pushing the Scarab, we can push this guy. Then we will kill him instantly, and then we can hit both of them without hitting the train, and use the laser. So that's obviously a much better solution here. And as we get kills, we gain experience. Our first pilot, the time traveler, already has max level, but our other 2 pilots do not. Now we can end the turn. And that's it. That's the end of the mission, and we'll get our reward. So as you can see, this game plays almost like a tactical puzzle game, because it gets way more complex. Well, later on, as you unlock more options, you get tougher enemies, you get more enemies, you get different weapons. So, next up, we can get +1 energy and corporate reputation. Then we can go this way. Alright then, let's do that. So, our objective here is to defend artillery support and protect the coal plant. The coal plant is going to be just a regular building right here. Okay, and we have the blast scion again. I don't like these guys at all. So, let's see, laser mech should probably be closer. Like so. Okay, we don't have artillery. The artillery can only move 1 tile, as far as I remember. But it's additional damage you can do. Alright, so let's get started. Yes, it can move 1 tile. But it can do 2 damage and it can push. So if we want to, we can push the Firefly into the emerging Veg, which is not a bad idea. We can hit this guy. We can push him and then hit the Scion. Yes, so let's do it like this. And then we can hit the Scion, which will kill it, and it will bring the Scarab or the Firefly down to 1 health. And it will hit the mountain instead of the civilian building. Okay, sounds good. And then I'm thinking... push the Scarab into the emerging Veg. We could block both tiles. It won't be super optimal, but it's a possibility. Alright, let's do that then. Oh wait, hold on, that won't actually push it. I'm not sure why I thought it will. Alright, never mind, probably because there's a mech with that exact ability which pushes adjacent targets. I mean, it's fine, I'm not going to reset the turn. We will block a tile. So we'll only have 3 enemies to deal with on the next turn, which will definitely not be a problem. You can also see attack order, which does matter because you can make the Veg kill each other. So if I hover over this, you can see what order they are going to act in. So for example, if I could push this guy up here, it won't really achieve much, or at least it won't prevent the Firefly from executing its attack, because it gets its turn first. Just something to keep in mind. Anyway, let's see how we are going to do this. We can definitely use the chain. Okay, hold on. Need to think about this. First, we can use the artillery. Yeah, like this, obviously. So that kills one of them. Now we can push the other. Is the Scorpion immobilizing us? We can kill the Scorpion. So how about we push the Firefly so that it won't hit our laser mech. We will set ourselves on fire by moving into the forest fire, which does 1 damage per turn. But you can remove it by either moving into the water, which we have none here, or repairing yourself. Still, in this case, it's worth doing. So we'll do it like this. We could kill them both if we wanted to, but I kind of want to block emerging Vec. So we'll do it like this. And then we'll block emerging Vec. Like so. That guy has 1 health left. That will not be very hard to deal with. Looking good so far. Here, we're down to 1 health, but that's all we need. Now, if your mech gets destroyed, you don't lose the mech, but you lose the pilot. So, that's something to keep in mind. Alright. So, how do we do this? We can use the laser. Well, sort of. I can't really end my turn on top of emerging Vec without repairing myself. That would be bad. We can just kill the Scarab with artillery shot. So we'll probably move and repair with the pulse mech and block a tile. But what about this business down here? I can't quite kill it. I can just accept 1 point of damage, which is probably fine. I mean, I don't really have any other options, to be honest. I can't kill it like this, because then I lost the laser mech. So we will accept 1 point of damage, that's fine. Repair ourselves. And let's maybe block this one. Okay, that removes the fire. And we will end our turn. We got 1 more turn. So there's the damage, now we'll take 1 more from emerging Vec. But we are fine. This is the last turn. You don't have to kill the enemies, you just need to not die and complete your objectives. You do get more experience for killing them, but if that means killing yourself, that's not really worth it. Our artillery will not be very useful on this turn. So, well, first we'll use the laser, I guess. Hold on. Okay, I have a plan how to do this. Yes, so first we'll use the laser. Then we can push our own mech in this direction. Like so. And then we can kill the Scarab. Here. And that's that. That's the end of the mission. And we got our rewards. 1 power and 1 artillery. I mean, 1 corporate reputation. So, next up, let's have a look. Do not kill the volatile Vec. Defend Starlight launches. Destroy the dam. Actually, I'll show you Destroy the Dam mission. Because this will actually change the map. It's one of these interesting mission types. So our objective here is to destroy the dam, which has 2 points of health. And when we destroy the dam, it will flood the area in the middle, killing any enemies which might be standing there. So that can be quite useful. Alright, so let's get started. First we'll use the laser, like so. Kill the Scarab. And push this guy away. That won't really achieve a whole lot though. The building will lose the shield one way or the other. So I don't think I'm actually going to do anything. We'll just move closer. Yep. Sounds good. No point pushing it in this direction. So here comes another. Now we only have a few turns to actually destroy the dam. Okay, let's see. Now we can use the whip. Obviously going to move away first. The building will not take any damage because we have an upgrade. So like this. And then kill it with laser. That will remove the shield on the building, but that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Goodbye. And that's that. We have to start doing damage to the dam on the next turn. Okay, that's the blast scion. We can probably ignore it on this turn. Okay, let's see. We can push the firefly in this direction, make it hit the mountain. And then we can deal with it on the next turn. Okay, sounds good. I can only do 1 damage to the dam on this turn. Which I suppose we'll have to do. Kill the scion. Okay, 1 damage. We can do it from this far away, so that's acceptable. We'll only have 1 turn to finish the job, though. Okay. So first of all, we should prevent the building from taking damage. Can we actually do that? That's a good question. Can we do that? We might not be able to. Alright, destroy the dam first. That's an obvious one. Now I can do 2 damage, which isn't quite enough to kill it, unfortunately. Oh no, it will die from the fire. Because it was standing on top of a forest. I set the forest on fire, and now it will die from the fire damage. Perfect. And that's basically it. These guys will hit each other, which is perfect. And that will be the end of the mission. Done. And we got a promotion. That gives us +2 health. Alright then. So, let's have a look. Tidal waves. Okay, let's do this one, because that's a mission with environmental effect. That can be quite interesting. Kill at least 7 enemies. And protect emergency batteries. Okay then, should be interesting. Like this. So, these highlighted tiles indicate that this area will get flooded. Like this. So it will keep flooding in this direction. Which means that if I push an enemy in this direction, it will die from the tidal wave. As long as it's not a flying or massive enemy. Which in this case it's not. Also, we have the first time pod here. So when you pick up the time pod, or leave it until the end of the mission but not have it destroyed, you will get extra reward. It gets destroyed if it takes damage or if a Vec tramples it. It's usually a good idea to pick it up if you can, to minimize the risk of having it destroyed. Anyway, how are we going to do this? So, see, if I use the pulse in the middle, I will damage the building, because I will push the Vec into the building. We can, however, kill it with the laser. So I think that's what we're going to do. And we can block 1 tile if we want to. Alright. So we'll do it like this. Then we'll push them like so. And we can either block a tile or do damage. It will be better to block the tile, I think. Yep. So like this. Although we can straight up kill the Vec, because this will set the forest on fire. And we'll get to keep our shield. And nothing will take damage. Yep, let's go like that. We'll only have 3 enemies on the next turn. That shouldn't be a problem. Okay. Laser mech is immobilized. So, might be a good idea to pick up that pod. I'm not sure if the flood will destroy it. I never had a situation like this, even though I played for like 22 hours. before recording this. So let's see. We can push one guy away. We can kill this one if we want to. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Kill this one with a laser, and then we'll push our own mech into the time pod, which will pick it up. And we'll push the Firefly away to protect the building. There we go, pod secured, and we can still move afterwards. Perfect. Now, we can afford to stand on the tile which will get flooded because we do not drown. You just can't attack from inside the water. But you can stand in it just fine, that's not a problem at all. We still need to kill 3 more enemies. So we have to do it right now on this turn. Shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, okay, we'll do it for sure. Alright, so first of all... First, let's use the laser. There, that's 6. And we just need 1 more. Doesn't really matter which. We can move out of the way and kill this one. Here. And that's it. That's the end of the mission. And now we'll get extra reward from the time pod. Here it is. We got Ice Generator, which is a weapon that can be used on any class. Freeze yourself and nearby tiles. It requires 2 power by default, and we can increase the size of the freeze. And we got a reactor core. So now we can give the reactor core to one of our mechs. And when you complete all but 3 regions on a map, you get the final mission at the corporate HQ, which will have 1 alpha mech, a tougher enemy type. So before we go there, let's use the reactor. What are we going to use it for? We can make allies immune to our burst beam, or we can give the Repulse weapon shield self ability. I think it will be better if we make allies immune to the burst beam. So let's do that. And let's go! So here the boss is the large goo, which will split into smaller goos when you kill it, quote unquote. Which is why that's one of the objectives. Alright, let's get started then. And our other goal is to protect the corporate tower back here. And as always, protect our energy grid. We are doing quite well so far, we got full power grid. You can still increase your power, and increasing your power beyond the maximum gives you additional grid defense. Grid defense is basically a chance to not take grid damage when a building gets hit. So this can go up to 30% plus. In fact, there's an achievement to get it to 30% or higher. Anyway, let's get started, shall we? So, how are we going to do this? Let's have a look. We can push him away, which might be worth doing, in this direction. It's not a bad idea. I'm just trying to figure out if we can prevent the buildings from taking damage. Because all 3 units are attacking a building. I think we can? Well, yeah, we should be able to. Right, we definitely can. It's just that we'll have 2 extra enemies spawning. But I think we can handle that. Okay, the goo attacks adjacent tiles, so we can push it in this direction. That won't be a problem. Then we'll kill the scarab, like so. and then kill the other one. There we go, that was a good start. Now, we don't have to do these objectives. If we don't destroy 5 ghosts, for example, we'll just miss out on 1 corporate reputation. Sometimes it's a good idea. It really depends on the situation. Sometimes you have to choose between losing power grid and doing the objective. You can't always do everything. Alright, so... what now? They are both attacking us, not buildings, so that's good. We could push the go into the emerging Vec, or we could block it ourselves. I think I'd rather block it ourselves. Okay, if I take this shot, I will set the forest on fire. Which means I should move out of the way, even though we have the ability to not do friendly damage. We'll still do friendly damage indirectly. So let's move and then we'll take a shot. We can push the Firefly to damage the other Firefly, but not yet. Because we might be able to push one of the ghosts that will split from the main. Here we go, we can do that. Not that it will achieve much, but we can still do it regardless. Yeah, okay, so do that and then we can attack. It won't quite kill them, but the second one will kill the first one. We'll still lose the shield because of the attack order, but one of them will still kill the other, so that's always useful. And that's the end of our turn. So we lose the shield, then it will kill the Firefly, and then we block one emerging Vec. Looking good so far. The ghosts might be a little bit tricky to deal with. Now we got 4 enemies. Okay, let's see then. Probably need to use the laser. Okay, laser. Like this. Then we can push the go in this direction and make the Firefly hit it. Or we can straight up kill it if we want to. Well, probably better to kill it. Let's block the tile and kill the Firefly. And then I think we'll just block the other tile. So that on the next turn we'll be able to focus on the ghosts. But I think we'll have to... oh, hold on. We have to push this guy. Yeah, I think we'll miss out on one objective. There's no way we'll destroy 5. Which is fine. Sometimes you will miss out on objectives. We'll miss out on 1 corporate reputation. But no civilian buildings took any damage, which means we'll finish the island with full power grid. That is quite nice. Remember that if power grid goes down to 0, you lose. That's it, game over. Okay. So... we can just push this guy away. That's what we'll do. Hold on though. For damage, yeah, okay, that's a lot of damage. Need to think about this actually. Okay, this will have to be a little bit different. So first of all, we need to free ourselves. Then we can do damage to the go. To prevent the building from taking damage. And that's basically it. Here, so that's basically it. That wasn't too bad. And now we'll get a chance to spend our corporate reputation. So, here's what we can buy. We can always buy a reactor for 3 corporate reputation, and we can always buy grid for 1 reputation. The other options are randomized. We can also sell the ice generator, and I think that's what I'm going to do. There's always 1 item on sale, which you can buy for 1 instead of 2, So what I'm thinking is we could buy 2 generators and swap the ice generator for targeted strike if we want to. Do we want to? I think so. We can call in an airstrike on a single tile anywhere on the map. And it doesn't require any power by default. I think I like that more than the ice generator. So we'll sell the ice generator, buy targeted strike, and buy 2 reactor cores. Now, I think we'll use that on the pulse mech, like so. And then we got 2 reactors to use. We definitely want shield self. We could get shield friendly. But at this point, I think we should get some health. So +1 health on this guy, and shield self. So that's the island done. Now we can do one of the other islands. But that's going to be the end of the first episode. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.